Hello guys, welcome. I am Hazi. Welcome to Hazi Code Haven. For today's session, we're going to cover the data types that we have in Python. So our approach for today is that we first go through some background information that you need to know. Then thereafter, we're going to see the data types that we have in Python in a code editor practically. Good. So let's deep dive into it. For the introduction, we can say that in Python, data types represent the kind of value that a variable can store. What does that mean? Not all data values that a variable can store are of the same kind. So it is the data type that determine the kind of data values a variable can store. A variable may store a data type of numeric type. A variable can hold a data type of text type. A variable can hold a data type of sequence type. So it is the data type which help us determine what kind of data values a particular variable can hold. So talking of Python, we have already learned that in our earlier session that Python is a dynamically typed language. What do you understand by that? That means that you don't have to explicitly declare the data type of a variable. It is in fact at runtime. When we are discussing about variable, we say that once you assign a name to a data value, the variable is automatically created. That is the same thing we are referring to here. Python is dynamically typed language. At runtime, the data type of the variable is inferred. That means the burden of explicitly declaring the data type of variable is not upon the programmer. Good. If that is the case, why is it necessary to learn about data type in variable? It is necessary because data type in Python define the kind of values variable can hold and the operation that can be performed on those particular variables. If it is a numeric variables, you can perform arithmetic operation on those variables. If it is a string variable, you can able to perform concatenation. So you can see there are different operation that you can perform on different type of data values that you have. So what help you to know which operation to perform on which particular variable is the data type. That means it is necessary to know. And again, choosing appropriate data type is essential for efficient and accurate data handling. Good, I hope that is enough for introduction. Let's now go through which are these data types that we have in Python. And let's start with the numeric types, which are the numeric data type that we have in Python. The first one is the int type, which represent the integers. And from secondary level mathematics, you have learned that integers are positive whole numbers, negative whole numbers, and zero. That means these are numbers which don't have the decimal part, like 10 is an integer, negative 5 is an integer, 0 is an integer. So these are numbers that don't have the decimal part. So int is a numeric data type in Python. Another numeric data type that you have is the float, which represent the floating point numbers. That simply mean numbers with decimals, like the pi, which is 3.14, negative 2.5, 1.0. These are floating point numbers, and they belong to the float numeric data type. So the third numeric data type is the complex, which represent the complex numbers. You rarely deal with this type of data type, but it is essential to know of its existence. These are numbers with the real and imaginary parts. Example, 3 plus 2j, where 3 is the real part and then 2j is the imaginary parts. Good. Let's go to the second data type that we have is the text type. And in the text type, we have the strings. And in programming, we think of a string as sequence of characters enclosed in single or double quotes. If you see a sequence of characters which are enclosed in either double quotes or single quotes, those are now the string, which we refer to it as str type. Good. An example is hello world. You can see it is in double quotes. Python in a single quote. We are saying that this is sequence of characters. P is a character, Y is a character, T is a character, and then H is another character. So this is a sequence of character, and it is enclosed in either single quotes or double quotes. Then we have 1, 2, 3 enclosed in a double quote. If you see these digits enclosed in single or double quotes, it is not. It is regarded as a string. It is no longer a number. So this 1, 2, 3 enclosed in double quotes is regarded as a text. It's regarded as a string, sequence of characters, rather than a number. Good. So that is the second data type that we have in Python, the text type. So the third that we have is the Boolean type. And then the Boolean type represents Boolean values which evaluate to true or false. So it evaluates to these two, either of these two values, true or false. And these are used for logical operations. Remember, we say that there are different operations that are performed on different data values or variables. So the Boolean type evaluates to true or false. And it is the third data type that we have in Python. Good. So the fourth data type that we have is the sequence types. And under this type, one, we have list. And what do you understand by list? List is ordered mutable collection of items enclosed in square brackets. So this ordered mutable collection of items that's enclosed in square brackets. Let's see an example. An example of list is, also you can see this square bracket. It is enclosing the values 1, 2, 3 separated by commas. So this is an example of a list. 1, 2, 3 separated by commas and enclosed in a square bracket. That's now a list. Another list we have here, apple and banana. So this is enclosed in a square bracket and both the values are in double quotes. So our first list contains items of numeric type. Our second list contains items of text type. And our third list contains items of numeric type and text type. As you can see, this first element is an int numeric type. And then this one, we have a text type, which is a string, sequence of characters. And then we have a float numeric type here. So that's why we can say a list can hold different data types. As you can see here, this is a mixture of data types. We have the numeric type and the text type. So another sequence data type that we have is tuple. And what we mean by tuple? Tuple is also ordered immutable collection of items enclosed in parentheses, not a square bracket, enclosed in parentheses. Remember, if it is a square bracket, that's a list. But for tuple, it is enclosed in parentheses. And then here we can say cannot change after creation. And that has relation with the immutability here. We are saying immutable collection of items. Let's see an example, and then I will explain what we mean by immutable for list and immutable for tuple. Good. An example of tuple is the same example as we have for list, but now this one enclosed in parentheses. This is a tuple which has the values 1, 2, 3. Remember, these are separate. The values is separated by commas, and then we have another tuple here which has apple and banana as it is element separated by commas, and then it can also have different data types. Tuple can also hold different data types, just as the same as list. So in our feature tutorial, when we specifically talk about list and tuple, you're going to understand more and more about them. But here now, remember that these are the sequence data type that we have. Then now, here we are saying list is ordered. What do you mean by ordered, first of all? Ordered means that the order of the element matters. Now, in this first example for list, this is the first element, this is the second element, and this is the third element. And you can able to refer to this element using the index. So the order matters. So both the list and tuple are ordered. Then we are saying mutable collection of items for list. That means this first element, which is 1, you can able to assign another element. And you can able to say that now after you assign to another element, this can hold another element like 5, 2, 3. So you can able to change this element and assign another value to it. But that's not the case for tuple. Once it is created, you cannot change. That's what we mean by immutable. You cannot change. This is the first element, this is the second element, this is the third element. And you cannot, after creation, you cannot assign this first element, which is 1, to another value. This first element here is apple. You cannot change it to another fruit. So after creation, tuple cannot change. That's what we mean by it is immutable collection of items. Good. So in our future tutorial, we'll have an exclusive discussion about list and tuple, and we're going to understand more. So the third sequence data type in Python that we have is range. And range represents an immutable, and I hope now you understand what we mean by immutable. So range represents an immutable sequence of numbers often used in loops. We're going to learn about loops when we're going to cover the control flow. Let's see an example. An example, this range now used as a function. You see range, and then we pass 5 to it. This will generate 5 values starting from 0 to 4. So starting from 0 through to 4. So that's the range. If you pass 5 to the range function. Good. You're going to understand range more when we'll cover the control flow. Good. Let's now go to another data type that we have in Python. That's the set type. Now, set is an ordered collection of unique elements enclosed in curly braces. Good. Let's see an example. An example of set that we have is 1, 2, 3 enclosed in curly braces separated by commas. And then we have apple and banana enclosed by curly braces and separated by a comma. And then we have one, as example of another set we have is 1 and hello, the text hello enclosed in curly braces separated by a comma. So what do you understand from this set data type is that it can able to hold different values because this is a numeric data type, and then this is a text data type. That's 1. 2, we are saying that set we have unique elements. That means you cannot have 2 identical elements in a set. If you consider this first example, you cannot have 1 and 1 in the same set. It must have unique elements. So you cannot have 2 identical elements in one particular set. So you cannot have apple, banana, apple. You can only have apple once. You can only have banana once in a particular set. Good. Then we're also saying unordered, not like list and tuple, whereby we say ordered. This is unordered. Unordered means that the order doesn't matter. You may see this, if you perform some operation to it, you may see this order of this set reshuffling and see 3 appearing at the first, 1 at the second, and then 2 at the last. So the order in set is not guaranteed. That's why we are saying an ordered collection of unique elements enclosed in curly braces. Remember, they are enclosed in curly braces. If it is enclosed in square brackets, that is a list. If it is enclosed in parentheses, that's a tuple. But if it is enclosed in curly braces, that's a set. And set is an order. That means the order is not guaranteed. The order is not maintained. Good. Another data type that we have is the mapping type. And here is where we have the dictionary, the dict. Okay, what do you understand by the dictionary? Dictionary is an ordered collection of key value pairs. An ordered collection of key value pairs enclosed in curly braces. Key must be unique and immutable. And at this time, I hope you understand the word unique and immutable. Good. Let's see an example, because that is when we understand better. This is an example of a dictionary whereby we have a key and a value. Like key is the name, colon, then you give it a value. Alice is now the value. Comma is have to be separated by commas. Another key is age, and we have the value, which is 30. Good. This is an example of another dictionary here, whereby we have 1 as the key and the value is apple. Then comma 2 as the second key and the value for that key is banana. And then you can see that the key and the value are separated by a full colon. Good. So those are the data types that we have in Python. What are the key points now? What are the takeaway points that you take from what we have discussed? Python is dynamically typed, meaning that you don't need to explicitly declare data types before using the variables. We have discussed about this point. Another point that you have to remember is that data types determine the operation that can be performed on the values. You cannot expect to perform arithmetic operation on the string or the text type. Good. Then choose appropriate data types based on the nature of your data and the operation you need to perform. If your data type is price, can you choose a string as your data type, or you use float as your data type? Yeah. So based on the nature of your data, you can choose the appropriate data types. Finally, it is important to understand type conversion when working with different data types in expression and operation. Yeah, this is what we're going to see later. At some instance, you may want to perform type conversions, whereby you convert from an int data type to a float data type, and vice versa. Good. So that is all for the background information, but the tutorial is not yet over. We now go to the code editor and see all that we have discussed practically. Good. This is our code editor, and first let's start with the numeric data type, and let's start with the int data type and see some example. So I can say example of int. Please, anything that you don't understand up to this moment, don't worry. As you follow through the coming tutorials, everything will be clear for you. I do understand that at the moment you may not be getting some point. Good. If I have an example here, let me say that x equals to 5, y equals to -10, and then z equal to 100. So these variables x, y, and z hold the int numeric data type, because these values has no decimal point. These are numbers, and as you can see, they don't have the decimal part. So this is an example of the int numeric data type that you have in Python. So you can able to print to the standard output. You can say, let's print one of them. Let's say print x. Good. Now, what this print function does, and I know that this we have not yet covered, it will want to print the value of this variable x to the standard output. We're going to run and see. If you want to see the type, because our discussion for today is about data type, if you want to confirm that the data type of this variable x, you say print and you pass the type function, type x. Now, if I run this code, first it will print this function here, the print x will print the value of the variable x. And then this other function here, the type of x, will print the type of this x, and we're expecting the type to be int. So let me run. Good. As you can see here, we have 5 as the first value printed. That is the value of our variable x. And then for the type, you can see the class int. That is the data type of our variable. Good. Let's now see example of a float, which is the second numeric data type. Example of float. Good. We can say that pi equals to 3.14. This is now float. That's why it is having the decimal part. And then maybe we can say price as a second variable is equals to 19.9, assuming that that's the price of an item. Let's print one of the variable. Let's print price to see its value. We can say print price. Good. And then to confirm it is type, let's also print it is type. We can say print type, and then we can say type price. Good. Our expectation is that the first print statement will print the value of price, which is 19.19, and then the second, because we are passing the type of price to our print function, we're expecting that it will tell us the type of this variable. Is it an int? Is it a float? Is it a string? Let's run and see. Good. As you can see here, the value is 19.19, and then the type is float. Good. So let's go to another data type. Let's go to the text data type and see the string. And here I can see example of string. Let's have a variable. Let's come up with two variables for it. We can say message is equals to, and remember we say that string are supposed to be enclosed in double quote or single quote. Let our message be, I can say hello world, hello world. Maybe another variable, we can say name equals to Python. Yeah. So string, they can be enclosed in double quotes or they can be enclosed in single quote. So let's print the value of one of the variable. Let me print message, which is our first variable. And let's also print the type of message to see which data type is this variable. Yeah. I can say print, and then I can pass the type function, the type of message. Good. If I run this, yeah, it first print our message, which is hello world, as you can see here, the value of our variable message. And then the type is saying this is string, yeah, which is our text data type. Good. Let's go to the Boolean data type. Let's go to the Boolean data type, and I delete this, and then yeah, I can say example of the Boolean data type. Let's come up with two variable, and I said is true equals to true. Remember this one we said it can only evaluate to true or false, and then I can say another variable is false equals to false. Yeah, the Boolean data type can only evaluate to true or false. So I can print either of our variable. Let me print the first one. Print our first variable, which is true. Okay. Let's also confirm it is type. Let's say print the type of is true. It is our variable. If I run this code, what do you get? The value of our first variable is true, and then the type is the Boolean type. Good. Let's go to our next data type, which is the sequence type, and maybe I go for list. Let's go to our sequence data type. and see example of a list, because for the sequence type, remember we have the list, the boolean, I'm sorry, the list and the tuple. So let's see an example of a list. Let's come up with a variable. Let's say numbers equals to, and remember it has to be enclosed in square brackets, 1, and then the values should be separated by commas, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our numbers. The value of our number variable, it is assigned a list having the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Maybe we can also come up with another variable and say fruit equals to um, um, apple, banana, and maybe we can add the third one and we can say orange. So we have two variables here assigned to two lists. Numbers assigned to this first list, and then our variable fruits assigned to this second list. Good. Let's print the value of one of our variable. Let me print the first variable. That is just a print function, and I pass here numbers. And let's print the type of this first variable. So we can say print. We can pass the type of numbers. Good. So if you run this code, you first of all get the value of a variable, which is a list having values 1 through 5, and then the type is list. Good. The same applies to tuples. The only thing now here, you have to, it is surrounded by, instead of square bracket, it is surrounded by the parentheses. So if you run this, get the value, and then the type is tuple. It is no longer a list because this first variable now is enclosed in parentheses. It's no longer enclosed in square brackets. Let's see for the mapping type. And then that is, let's see an example of a dictionary. For that, let's come up with a variable and then assign it to a particular dictionary. I can say person equals to, remember this one, we said it has to be enclosed in curly braces, and then supposed to have key value pairs. So for this person, let's say that the person has a name, that's the first key. And let's give the name is Hazi, and then comma. The person also has an age, and then let's say that Hazi is 25 years old, but am I 25 years old? I'm older than 25, by the way. So let's also say the city of the person, and let's say Nairobi. Good. Yeah. Now let's print the person. Let's print a variable. Print person. So here we expect to get the value which we have assigned to our variable person, and then let's print the type of this variable. Let's print the type of the variable person. Good. Let's run our code, and what do we get here? Yeah, we get the value, the name Hazi, age 25, city Nairobi, and then the class is dictionary. Good. That is bring us to the end of our session for Python data type. So those are the data type that we have in Python. Kindly subscribe to this channel, like and comment, and yeah, more session coming on your way. Thank you.